All right, high rollers, mark it on your calendar. March 2nd is National Blackjack Day, the day we can all say, hit me, baby. Our guest today, a blackjack player, a Vegas blogger. He's got a fascinating blog. His latest article talks about ways to bring more millennials into gambling, how to create a positive experience for them at the gaming tables. It's very interesting. It's a good piece, and you can check it out on his blog, which is blackjackroi.wordpress.com. He's at blackjackroi on Twitter, and he joins us today. Hey, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and thanks for noticing National Blackjack Day.
Well, absolutely. National Blackjack Day in America. I saw it on Twitter, and I thought, hey, this is a novel idea. We need to celebrate one of the all-time classic, recreational, of course, beatable casino games, 21. But the more I look into it, this is a serious issue for you guys. It's a big day, right? March is the third month, and the second day, that's a significant number for you guys.
You're absolutely correct. There's definite symbolism within the timing of it. March 2nd was picked specifically for a reason, and you know this, obviously, that 3-2 is the traditional payout for a blackjack, right? So if you bet $100, you get $150 back if you get a blackjack. And more what we're seeing is casinos changing those rules up to a 6 to 5 payout. So if you were betting $100 on a hand, you get $120 back instead of that $150 payout. And so we picked March 2nd, 3-2 as the day for National Blackjack Day to make a point that this game that is the most popular in most casinos and across the globe in casino gambling is being deteriorated a little bit by some of the big companies squeezing the margins. And quite frankly, at the level I play at, this $100 tables, they tend to pay 3-2 no matter what. But if you're a casual gambler and you go to play nowadays, especially if you're in the MGM property or some of those big Vegas casinos on the Strip, a 6 to 5 game is more likely where you're going to end up, and you're not even going to know the difference. And you're going to be, eating away at your profits, if there are any profits for a casual gambler anymore, by playing a 6 to 5 game versus a 3-2 game.
Well, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I mean, this is about, to me, industry standards. You get paid 3-2 on a blackjack. That's how it's supposed to work. It's just supposed to, right?
Amen. You're preaching to the choir on that one. And since I started this, I'm going to call it a movement, although that's probably overstating what it is. This is a fun recreational thing, and I'm having fun with it. But since we started having this conversation, it's been really interesting to see the casual gambler coming in and saying, yeah, you know what, I went and played, and it's just not as much fun when I go and my money doesn't last as long. And so, for an advantage player, the people who are, coming to the casinos and having the angles all figured out before they get there, they can play in almost any rules and figure out a way to make some money off of it. But for the average person who shows up at a casino, they're just going there to have fun and make their money last as long as they can, have some good stories to tell. And when the casinos start, hedging on the margin and cutting down the length of time you can play, the less fun you have. And so we really want to take this game back and make it for the players and make it a more enjoyable experience for everybody.
Well, you make some good points, and it's very interesting. You talk about advantage players. We recently had the card counter Nicholas Colon. He attended the Blackjack Ball in Vegas last year. He writes extensively about the game. He's also a casino consultant, and he says some of the larger corporations, MGM, Caesars especially, are really changing Vegas. 6 to 5 at the blackjack table, fewer comps at the slots. You've got these automated machines now, the cash out slips. So really, the patrons are getting less bang for their buck because they go there, everything's expedited, they lose the same amount of money, but it happens in half the amount of time.
That's exactly right. And those pieces that you mentioned, you can throw in paid parking, you can throw in resort fees, you can throw in all the other nickel and dime ways that the casinos are looking to make a quick buck that are taking away from the average consumer's experience. And all of those things eat away at that overall experience. And, it may be great for folks to go and listen to their favorite DJ at the club, but really, Vegas and all the, Vegas was built on gaming. And when you go outside of Vegas, you look at the regional casinos, whether it's in the U.S. or, I know you're in Canada, so in Canada as well, if you look at these regional casinos, most of them actually still pay 3-2 because they understand that to get people to come to their casino, they need to have an experience that's worthwhile, and they need to have a gaming experience that's worthwhile. And so at some point, the DJs aren't going to be as popular, and the pool parties aren't going to last forever. And, the millennials are going to age out of some of those activities, and when they come back, they're not going to remember any positive gaming experience. And so they're going have less reason to come back to Vegas. So I completely agree with this point of view that these big companies, the Caesars, the MGMs, and others are really chipping away at the positive experience that the average consumer is having.
It's almost like back in the day, the good old days of Vegas gambling. It seemed like the casinos almost paid you to come there to gamble because they knew they were going to get it back.
That's exactly right. And let's be honest, I'm not an advantage player. I'm a person who really enjoys blackjack. I feel like I have a good understanding of the game, and I play close to that 50-50 margin on winning and losing. But on the whole, the average person doesn't really understand the odds, and so they're going to lose their money no matter what. And so, to your earlier point, you're exactly right. You're going to lose your money no matter what if you're an average person who's visiting Vegas just for some fun and has $500 in your pocket. So why not make that $500 last a couple of days instead of a couple of hours? If you're a casino company, I would think that you'd want those people to have a positive experience losing their money versus being frustrated that they lost it in a couple of hours and then are less likely to come back and gamble again. So I'm with you. I think there's something to the point of having fun while you're losing, even though most people, I think, go in assuming they're going to lose unless they're an advantage player.
Right. 6 to 5 payouts. If this becomes the standard, all casinos go to this. Do you see a day where blackjack becomes just another game? That it will no longer hold its dominant position in the table game area? Because it has been dominant for so long.
You're exactly right, and that is the trend. The trend is, if you look at UNLV Gaming puts out a great synopsis every year of where the money is spent. They particularly focus on Nevada. If you look at Nevada, the majority of the gaming used to be in blackjack, and that number gets chipped away every year. And so baccarat has actually taken over as the number one game in Nevada, and blackjack is becoming just another game. To your point, it's becoming one other game that people play at the casinos, but it's not. It does not hold the sway that it used to, and I don't know that it will ever become just another game in the pit with Let It Ride and Texas Hold'em and all the other table games that are now coming around to try and make you lose your money quicker. But it's definitely losing its prominence as the number one spot in every casino floor.
Put your casino hat on for a second. Why are they doing this? Is it because of those regional casinos and the competition that you talked about earlier?
I think that's a great point. I think that the regional casinos for these major companies make them, an awful lot of money. And so they look at those as their gaming destinations. And again, I'm making some assumptions here. I don't work in the industry. But I believe they look at, I'm here in the southeast, so I'm not far away from Harrah's Cherokee. And so Cherokee, from what I understand, is the most profitable casino in the Caesars portfolio in the U.S. And that's because you have a bunch of gamers. You have a bunch of people who want to go there and gamble. They're not going there for the resort experience. They're going to gamble. And so I think they can get away with, as a casino owner, they can get away, an operator in Vegas, of putting these 6 to 5 games out there for entertainment purposes, knowing that they offer 3 to 2 in the gaming destinations. They can still trim the margins on their big resort properties while making their money off the gamblers in the regional casinos. So I think that's a real good point.
Interesting to note, too, that you do have some support in the form of a major casino in Vegas.
Yeah, it's interesting. So as we talk about this, I'm not anti-casino company at all. I believe that all these companies have the right to make their money however they want to make their money. I'm looking out, my point of view is from the average gambler's perspective. And, one of the folks who's actually engaged with us on National Blackjack Day is the D. And Derek Stevens at the D in downtown Las Vegas, they actually are very prominent even in their advertising to say all their blackjacks pay 3 to 2. So they're actually making a concerted effort to go out and tell people that, hey, we have better odds or we pay better on a blackjack than the companies who are on the strip typically are pushing that 6 to 5 mentality. And so they've done a great job of going out there and letting people know that they pay 3 to 2 on all their blackjacks. And they've been very encouraging on what we're doing with National Blackjack Day. So a shout out to the D and Derek Stevens for keeping it at a 3 to 2 in Las Vegas.
I'll tell you what, I'm with Derek Stevens, I'm with the D, and I hope you can put in a good word and get me an interview with that gentleman, because I, too, support National Blackjack Day. You can as well. Check him out on Twitter. It's at Blackjack Day or at Blackjack ROI. Now, what is the plan March 2nd? Is this just about raising awareness? What are you guys going to do?
It really is about raising awareness. I think the best thing to do on March 2nd is, if you're a gamer, go out and play some blackjack. Go play at a casino that supports 3 to 2 payouts. Avoid tables that are 6 to 5, and go out and let the MGMs of the world, the Caesars of the world, let them know that, we're paying attention, and that 3 to 2 is the way that they should be paid when they get a blackjack, no matter where they're playing.
You can tell that this guy really cares about Las Vegas, about blackjack, about the patron experience inside the casino. You got to check out his blog. It's blackjackroi.wordpress.com. You recently posted an article on millennials. Interesting stuff. I mean, what's happening with young people and gambling these days? Are they getting out to the casino and putting some money down?
Well, that's the big trend, and I tend to just keep my eye on the industry because I'm interested in it. And the trend is that it's all about millennials, right? How are we going to get millennials to gamble? They're not coming into our casinos. They're going to the pool. They're going to the club. They're going to listen to DJs, but they're not putting their money down on the table. And my argument, as you mentioned in the blog post, is that it's really about the experience. If I'm a millennial, which I'm not, I'm a little bit older than the millennials. If I'm a millennial, I don't have any background in gaming, right? I don't have any grounding in what it's like, because I used to sit around and play blackjack and poker and things with my family around the table. I don't think that happens as much anymore, and so there's really no background for these folks. So I argue that if you build an experience that's interesting for a group of millennials to get together and experience gaming in an environment that doesn't actually cost them a lot of money, that allows them to do it with their friends, makes it a social experience, and allows them to learn the games that are in the casino now, that they have a much better chance of having a positive experience that they can share and will bring them back to play for real money in a future trip. So that's my premise. There's lots of other premises out there on how to get millennials in the door, whether it's through esports or through virtual reality or through group gaming. There are a lot of different varieties of the same idea out there. But I think that, trying to trick them into coming in for some other reason isn't the way. I think it's grounding them in the experience and understanding of the games is the best way to get them in the door.
Well, your blog is very good, and just by going through it, I can tell you're like me. You just love it, right? I mean, this is a passion for you.
Oh, yeah. This is I have a day job, which I'm very excited about, and I'm trying to, get a startup off the ground, which I love doing. But at the same time, when I get a free moment, I really want to be engaged in gaming and blackjack. And, I dabble a little in poker, not as well as you do, but I dabble a little in poker and other games as well. But it really is, it's not just a side project for me. It's definitely a passion project.
The website is blackjackroi.wordpress.com, at blackjackroi on Twitter, and you can follow at Blackjack Day for National Blackjack Day, which is March 2nd. Oh, by the way, got to ask you, you put out on Twitter the meme of Donald Trump and the executive order. I thought that was very funny. What do you make of the president with respect to gambling? Do you think he's going to be good for gambling or bad for gambling?
I would believe over the next 4 years you'll see a couple of things open up in terms of gaming. I will say that there's going to be a lot of opposition when you get down to a state level, because you get a lot of the lottery companies and you get a lot of the regional casinos fighting for their turf. So I think that he may be a positive for the gaming industry in terms of, trying to provide some federal or national cover. But I think on a local level, you're going to see the same kind of back and forth here in Georgia. I live in Georgia. You're going to see the same back and forth within the state legislatures, which will make it really hard for any wide-scale expansion. So I think it's going to be I think it's the same dance that we've been doing for the past 4 to 8 years that continues to go on, but probably a little bit more cover at the national level that may open up some opportunities.
I'll tell you what, I've really enjoyed this, and we have to have you on again. Listen, folks, it's the national fabric of America. 3 to 2 on your money when you scream those words, blackjack, baby, at Blackjack ROI. Thank you so much. Enjoy the day today, and have a good March 2nd.
Thank you very much. It's been great being on.